Hi guys, today's video is a Q&A. Again, as usual, I'll try and get to all the questions, but I'm not sure I'll be able to because there's quite a few and I don't want this video to be super long. Jade Alexis asked, what keeps you going when things get hard in recovery? Having a support team. When things get hard in recovery, that's when I need to fall back on a meal plan, that's when I need more therapy, that's when I need a good talk with my dietitian. That's when I really rely on other people as opposed to like being self-sufficient and moving myself forward. That's when I just really count on other people to keep me on track. And also a good grounding talk with someone, just talking about like why I want to recover and what my goals and dreams are. That always really helps motivate me too. Vanessa asked, how's your recovery going? I don't know guys, honestly, like I've been having a pretty hard time. I got surgery 3 months ago now or something, as you guys might know, and recovery from that has been very difficult. Like my body's not healing well. I've just been in a lot of pain and been really frustrated at my body. Thank you for asking, I appreciate it. Do you sometimes doubt you have an eating disorder? You know, I don't anymore, but at the beginning stages of my eating disorder, I really did. Like I just didn't believe I was sick and didn't believe I had a problem and didn't believe there was something wrong with what I was doing. That's really dangerous because that's when you most like blindly just go right into your eating disorder. If your eating disorder is stopping you from doing anything, if it's making you miserable, if you can't control it, if you're just consumed by the thoughts, then it's a problem. Favorite hobbies? Video making, obviously. I love making and editing videos. I also really like sports. I guess that would be considered a hobby. I really want to learn to play the piano. It's a bit late to be doing that right now since I'm like off to university and can't take a piano with me, but that's something I'd like to try in the future. What's your biggest fear food and have you beaten it yet? I'd say my biggest fear food would I don't know if I necessarily have like one fear food that's so much worse and so much harder than other ones. Probably like a pasta dish or like a rich pasta dish from a restaurant. I definitely had that in treatment. I don't think I've had that anytime recently. I had cheesecake last night though. What tips would you give to stay on the right path in recovery and motivate yourself? This is kind of like the last question again, but just really having a support system that you can fall back on when things get hard. Dietitian, therapist, psychiatrist, counselor, family supports, friend supports, any supports you can get basically. I think that's the most important thing to staying on the right path and to keep myself motivated. A huge thing for me has been surrounding myself with the right people. All my treatment friends are amazing and so motivating, and whenever I talk to them or with them, I just get so motivated, and it's just such a refreshing, nice like boost of recovery. So surrounding yourself with the right people and really positive, inspiring people is one way that I keep myself motivated. And honestly, YouTube for me keeps me motivated because I want to be doing well so I can make these videos and just like reminding myself what recovery will bring for me. What do you do when you get triggered? Also self-care ideas. There's a wonderful article I saw that has 101 self-care ideas, so I will have that in the description to check out. And also what to do after you get triggered. Honestly, for me, it really just like depends on the trigger, and some triggers are really unavoidable. I guess like one main thing is just like taking care of yourself. Like getting away from the trigger, getting out of the situation if you can, and just taking care of yourself and doing self-care and doing what you need in that moment. But also keeping yourself very accountable when you get triggered. Susie may have made that terrible comment at lunch, but you still need to have snack. Like really not letting it affect your behaviors. If the trigger is from an external source, if you can remove it. So if you're following a triggering account on Instagram, just unfollow that account, or if someone makes a comment, set a boundary with them, tell them that's not okay. And also lots of times triggers come from people that don't have eating disorders. Like they talk about how much they ate or that they're going to the gym or make comments or something like that. And just what helps me in those situations is really keeping in mind that they don't have an eating disorder and I do. I'm sick, so I can't do all the things that they can do. They're allowed to go to the gym. They're allowed to eat certain things and not eat other things. They can do it in a healthy way. They don't have an eating disorder. They're not sick. And so really separating that and reminding myself like, okay, they can do this. They don't have an eating disorder. I can't do this because I do have an eating disorder. Just quickly want to jump in and add in another thing that I do to deal with triggers, and that is talking to one of my friends about it and like venting and saying how it made me feel. Lots of times when I get triggered, I'll just message one of my treatment friends and be like, this is what happened, I feel so crappy now. And it's awesome to have like their sympathy and their support and have a voice of reason on the situation. How did you open up to others about your problem? I honestly didn't for a very long time. But since opening this YouTube channel, obviously like everyone has access and can know I have an eating disorder. And so I found that with this YouTube channel since then, I just have to be very, very open about it to like the people in my everyday life. Like I can't really hide it. I'm putting it out there on the internet publicly. So for me, I don't even have to tell most people. I can just kind of mention it and they know, like, which I'm kind of uncomfortable with. Like, it's hard for me to get around the idea that most people know about my eating disorder. But if you are wanting to tell someone, I would recommend setting up a time, like going for coffee, like having a structured time, and going to a safe place and someplace where you won't be interrupted and that you can just have a good talk. And you can also just think about like the main things you want to say beforehand. But also if it just comes up in a conversation, try and be really open to it. And like it doesn't have to be planned. If the topic comes up, that's a good opportunity to talk about it too. When was the first moment you convinced yourself you had to recover? There wasn't one moment. When I was in treatment, it took about 2 months before I realized that like I actually did want to start recovering. And for me, a big thing was learning like the root cause of my eating disorder and like why I had it and why I still wanted to have it. And also being surrounded by very motivating people and an amazing therapist, and just really seeing for the first time that recovery would be worth it and that there was life on the other side of an eating disorder. And I mentioned this before, but just seeing everything that my eating disorder took away from me and how much it was dragging me down was a huge reality check and really like motivated me. This is a question I didn't get to in my last Q&A that I wanted to answer. What can I do if I can't stop eating my favorite foods when I'm full? And I'm so worried to get fat, but I can't say no. I feel like I've lost my anorexic power to say no to food. How can I stop it? One, I just want to say eating extra of your favorite food is so normal. Since in recovery, whenever I've started eating something that I restricted for a long time, the first few times I eat it, I'm just like, give me all of it. Like I'll just have a subjective binge on it. Like it's not actually a binge, but it just feels like it because it felt a bit out of control. I felt like I couldn't stop and I just loved its taste and wanted to keep eating more. And that's so normal. When you have restricted a food for a long time and then you start eating it again, when you start eating it, your body will be like, oh my goodness, like give it to me. Like, so it's so normal in recovery for that to happen. And just in life, it's so normal to eat more of your favorite food. Even if you're not hungry, just because you like the taste, it's okay to eat more. That's so normal. Everyone does it. It's more disordered to restrict your favorite food and only have a certain amount of it than it is to have a bit extra of it because you like the taste and you love it so much. As you eat the food more and more and it becomes more normal again and you're not restricting it and your body knows that, it will get a lot easier to just eat until you're full and eat the normal amount and not keep eating afterwards. Alrighty, so those are all the questions I'm going to answer today. I hope that you guys are all doing lovely and I will see you in the next video. Remember to email me or reach out to me or anything if you have any more questions. Bye guys.